From the Fox 26 studios, this is Houston's Morning Show.
There's a new scam to be aware of while you're traveling for the holidays. It's called juice jacking and happens at public charging stations like the ones at airports. Here to talk more about this is tech expert Nick Walney. Sure, I'm glad you're here because nobody has time to be jacked.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going on? What is juice jacking?
Yeah, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office released a statement about it recently. They talked about how they've seen a rise in hackers installing basically fake USB ports in public places. So you think airports, you think malls, basically all the places that consumers are going to be hanging out this week, right? 55 million Americans traveling.
So you brought in an example just to show us so we have an idea of what you're doing that is causing a problem.
So the biggest thing that's happening with this juice jacking scam is that now in public places you can plug your USB cable directly into whatever public charging station. So you wouldn't be
this is when you don't have this in. This is what they're doing. So the problem is in this when you go to somewhere public.
Right, exactly.
All right, so you want to use your own plug.
You want to use an AV adapter. Yeah, because what that's going to tell the phone is, hey, I'm not trying to transfer data. I'm just trying to, charge my battery. Yeah. That's it. So I really recommend a good safety precaution is to pack an AV adapter or two in your bag, in your carry-on bag. That way, if you do get into a situation where you have to charge, your battery is running out, then you're not putting yourself at risk for potentially having your identity stolen. These hackers are really, really strong this time around. They can actually lock you out of your device. You don't want to be locked out of your phone in the middle of traveling, all that stuff. So it's something that we're just trying to create a lot of awareness of so people can be safe while they're traveling.
Sure. And for years we've heard of computer problems and people hacking into our computers, but not our cell phones. But this is just the latest scam.
Well, and for many people, they've discovered that they're using their phone more than a computer nowadays. You know, even compared to 3 or 4 years ago, people are checking their email mainly on their phone. Some people are working remotely. They do most of their work from their phone, right? We spend several hours a day on our phones. We spend more time on our phones than we do on our computers, and that's a pretty recent adjustment. So now hackers are having to adjust, well, they want to adjust in order to figure out how can we get into the phone, which you wouldn't think of as being open and vulnerable in the same way that a computer would be, but through scams like this, they're able to actually install malware and get people's personal information directly on their phone.
And just when you least expect it, something as simple as just trying to charge your phone, you would never think, which is why they thought they were going to get
well, and I think it's subtle too, because you've been able to charge for years, but now it's specifically this USB port that is enabling hackers to get much more information than they previously got.
Is there any other way on cell phones that they're getting it these days, or is that still pretty safe?
I mean, cell phones are, there's a lot more encryption that's happening in a phone, and encryption is what is important in terms of security. Encryption is just, when your password is a bunch of dots rather than you technically seeing what it is. But a lot of this malware is that people it's like they think of if you had information there, you had your password just written down on a note card on your computer or something like that. Having that information visually accessible is much more dangerous because when a hacker gets into your computer, they're going to be able to see everything, but you actually don't want them to see the letters and numbers that create your password. You want that to be totally secure.
Well, that is good to know, Nick. I'm glad you're walking us through it, keeping us safe. And just a reminder, use the plug if you have to charge your phone.